What's going on, friends? It's Anton Daniels, and I got to have a conversation with you guys about Teach Henley because you see how the sun is hitting me? This is no finesse, no makeup, no filters, no none of that. This is 100% Teach Henley. I use it in the morning as soon as I get up, right after I pray and brush my teeth, jump in the shower, and I'm hitting the streets because you never get a second chance to make a first impression. So even though they're giving you 40% off your first order, 20% off for life, even though you may get a free gift, forget all that, right? Because we would do this even if it was full price because it's worth that much. I'm in the streets, I'm kicking it with people, and I see Dusties everywhere. You don't want to be them. You want to separate yourself. And the way that you separate yourself is self-care. Ladies get it for the fellas. Fellas don't wait for the ladies to get it for you. I'm about to hit the streets right now, and I'm feeling confident. I'm feeling great. I mean, I already got confidence, but to have that extra boost of confidence, knowing that you've taken care of yourself and you set yourself apart from all of the rest of the sheep that's walking around making bad decisions on a daily basis. And it's reflected in their actions. It's reflected in the products that they use. It's reflected in the people that they follow. And so if you're trying to level up, if you're trying to make sure that you look good, they're going to send you the pack. They're going to give you all of the instructions on how you're supposed to use it. Then make sure you get your Teach Henley. Again, 40% off your first order, 20% off for life. Get your free gift. Make sure you tap in with your boy Anton Daniels because Unc is never going to lead you wrong. I would never have you use a product that I don't use myself. Again, they've been rocking with me for a long time. Make sure you get your Teach Henley. I love you. I appreciate you. I'm going to holler at you guys later. What's going on is Anton from AntonDaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me. Thank you for tuning in for another edition of the Millionaire Morning Show. I'm your host. What up, what up, what up, what up, what up? What's going on, friends and family? How do y'all feel? I need to plug up my laptop. Yes, what am I? Hold on. Let me go ahead and get this laptop charged real quick. Give me a second. Now, what up, friends? What's going on? Heck of a weekend, ain't it? Heck of a weekend. What up? Crown says amazing. AD trying to see what these Democrats is talking about. Says Sterling, amazing. Walker, what up? Walk on Wood. Enos Luby. Jesse Xavier. Jason 18. Enos Luby. 80 got with this take on the MJ movie. Wasn't going to see it, but he told me it was a really great movie. It was a really great movie. We need a Cavs Pistons watch party streaming on Room 9. Oh, man. We might be able to pull that off since I'm going to be in Brazil. Welcome to Brazil. Welcome to Brazil. What's up, friends? What up? What up? Another day, not streamed, not on the ESPN room. Well, I'm catching a flight today. Good God. That's why I'm so discombobulated because I'm trying to, I try to leave most of the things that I'm going to take with me wherever it is that I go. I try to leave that in the luggage already. So let's say, for example, I get home and make sure I got my passport while I'm thinking about it right now. If you don't have nothing, you got to have your passport. You know what I'm saying? Yep, got the pass, the trusty passport. So, but when I get home from a trip, what I like to do is I immediately, when I'm unpacking, I'm repacking. So I got the travel kit as far as like the toothbrush, the edges, all of that stuff. I got a separate kit that I use for taking with me on the road as far as streaming, as far as equipment. Whatever shirts that I take out, I immediately put new shirts back in. And so that's kind of how I move. You know what I'm saying? Like when I unpack, I repack because it helps for me to make sure that I don't forget anything. So, but you still, even with that, you still want to make sure you know, that you get all of that together. You don't want to forget anything. You don't want to leave nothing. You don't want to have to buy nothing. And when you travel in the US, you can pretty much buy whatever you need. You can get Amazon and send whatever you need immediately. But when you're traveling outside of the country, it's a different thing because, you don't even know what delivery service is available. You know what I'm saying? So, yes. Lonnie Clark says, AD, did you see that white guy in Clarksville, Tennessee, going around calling black people the N-word? I haven't. Here's a question. Let's look it up. Let's get into it. We got a lot to cover today. All right. Clarksville, Tennessee. N-word. Where's it at? I don't see it. I can't find it. Chud the Build. His name is Chud the Builder. All right, let's see. Chud the Builder. You know what? To be honest with you, I'm not even interested in reviewing this story. And the reason why I'm not interested in reviewing this story is because he sounds like one of those rage baiters. He sounds like a rage baiter. Let me tell you how I deal with racism, or when people try to promote or rage bait when it comes to the worst of society. I don't. Like, me looking at this, me playing this on my platform, A, gives him more visibility. B, jeopardizes my platform because I haven't pre-reviewed what he's doing. And C, it don't make me no money. It doesn't make me any money because if you play it, it's going to go yellow. So I'm not going to be able to make no money off the clip or the restream, right? That's number one. Number two, it gives him more visibility. It's the same thing when it comes to Nick Fuentes. I don't play Nick Fuentes ever. I told y'all that. I said that I'm not giving no energy, no visibility to it. And three, do y'all realize that when y'all feed into this, let's say, for example, somebody runs around and they start calling you the N-word. And this is why we got to think. You have to think in everything you do, not just with racism, but with stuff that goes on in your job, if you getting into it with your neighbors. I was reviewing a video of a black woman that was saying, oh my God, I can't believe it. My neighbors are so mad that I moved in. And it's like, how do they follow you on social media? How do they know all of this stuff? So I give it no play. The thing that y'all don't understand about rage baiting is that when you react to it, especially emotionally, you're giving them what they want. You're blowing them up. You're giving them more visibility. You're feeding exactly into it. That's what people don't realize about content, right? And that's why I say, if I don't like you, I put do not recommend on you. And so you don't get no visibility. I don't get no visibility. I'm not contributing into your profitability. I don't care. You have no, when you give something your energy, you giving it your life force. When you show them that you care, you give them what they want. Whatever it is that they're looking for, you giving them what they want. And so the thing that I don't understand especially for people that, if you're a younger person, I get it. You're emotional. You're going to crash out. You do dumb stuff because you don't think, you haven't lived enough life to understand that, oh man, I'm getting finessed. Once you get past 30, 35, and if you're 40 years old and you still crashing out over something that somebody said in the street or somebody on social media that you have no connection to, that you've never met in your entire life, how? How are you still having a YN mentality and putting your freedom, your platform, your money on the line for anything that somebody else is doing? I don't understand it. Are we still, as 30 and 40-year-old people, falling for the okie doke trap? Think about this for a second. So remember when I got into it with the comedian, right? And I said, listen, let's do this offline. And then I explained it to people and I said, listen, YouTube don't like it when you fight. They don't like a real physical confrontation. Now, all of those same people, for example, will sit there and say, man, you should have crashed out. Man, you should have crashed out. Now, 3-4 months later, the situation has subsided for the most part. You know, still stuff going on in the background, but as far as the visibility of it and people all getting energized about it, all of that subsided. Now imagine that I had lost my platform as a result of it. The situation is over, everything subsided. You out there looking dusty because you ain't got no money coming in on social media. You fumble millions of dollars per year because you want to be a crash dummy because you can't think about the situation and the long-term ramifications that come along with doing something stupid on camera. And everybody else moves on. They go to work, they have their spouse, they buy their cars, they go on their vacations, they move on to the next content creator, they focus on doing whatever they got to do. And you give people an emotional response because you're getting a battery put in your back by people on the internet that you've never met in your entire life. Meanwhile, your money is affected, the people that work with you affected, the employees that depend on you affected, because you can't think about, in the moment, a logical response, or you reacting to your emotions and you fall 100% victim to what the internet and social media is telling you to do. And I've been telling y'all and pushing y'all for years. I've been trying to convince y'all for years that you need to be a thinker. A thinker. For hundreds of years, Black people, Black culture have been emotional reactors, and you fall right into the victim mentality, and then you can't have no comeback from it because now it is what it is. Y'all letting some racist man on the internet going viral. He shouldn't even be going viral because you shouldn't even be giving it that type of energy in the first place. Y'all let a man going viral that has no bearing on your life. He a crash dummy. He clearly is a crash dummy, and you letting that get you out of your emotions and crash out? The people that are the most dangerous are the ones that don't react to it the way that you think that they should. I'm more afraid of long-term ramifications than short-term energy being put into something. I'm never going to put my well-being on the line for somebody else. I'm not going to put my freedom on the line, and I'm not going to put my money on the line. That's two no-nos. That's two no-nos. What we talking about? But I want my respect. That's all you'll have in the morning is your self-respect within yourself, because you ain't going to have no money. You ain't going to have no platform. You ain't going to have no voice. You don't have no impact. And now you got to go back to live with your mama. That's all you'll have in the morning when we're done with you. You got to learn to play the game different than what they taught you to do, because the culture ain't going to be there for you. I promise you. I promise you. They will leave you. They will abandon you. The hose is going to be gone. The money going to be gone. The car is going to be gone. The opportunity is going to be gone. Your job going to be gone. And your voice is going to be gone. And they're going to be saying, man, you remember? Oh, dog. And when they see you working at Arby's, protesting for $20 an hour over in California, they not going to try to help you. They're going to record you. Hey, man, dog, this dude really done fell off. Put the fries in the bag, dog. I don't want to hear nothing. I don't want to talk about it. We not going to get into it. Hey, man, is my fries hot? Look, I asked him if his fries is hot. No Lambo, no vacation, no Delta One, no first class, no suites, no nothing. Give me all of that. I'm going to trade that in for your perceived self-respect within the culture. Give me everything. Come on. Student loans. Give me some student loans. Credit card debt. Losing your house. No big penthouse. No nothing. Give it all up. Come on. And put these fries in the bag, big dog. Come on. Bring it on. Bring it on in. That's how it go. That's how it go. Yo, girl get mad. Man, my girl gonna get mad at me if I don't crash out. Well, guess what? Get another one. If you got a girl that's willing to walk away because you said that you willing to walk away from a confrontation that could go left and she tripping, get another one. Anything that could be replaced is something that I'm not going to be concerned about. Get another one. What you think that they stopped making women when they made her? Upgrades. It's time to upgrade. Why you ain't fight for me? Why you got to go back and live back with your mama, baby girl? Hey, listen, you got to go. Time to go. You can always get another one. There's always new women. They didn't stop making women when they made you. Get another one. Oh, man, you walked away when he called you the N-word. Cool. I can't be rolling with you. Okay. What you think, that they stopped making friends when they made you? You think that they stopped making hoods when they made yours? Go back to your hood then. Cool. Replacements. You know, I don't know if y'all have learned over the last 2 to 3 months, but I believe, you know what I call it? I call it the bullpen. This is what I call it. I call it the bullpen. A lot of people don't know about it, but I got that term, and I started using it after I was having conversations with Kwame Kilpatrick. I was interviewing him on that couch, not that couch. And so we was talking, and he said, you know, Democrats, when we were coming up, they had a bullpen. And so they had a prospect list of great, you know, politicians that they thought could be possibly the future. He said, when I was coming up, it was me, it was Barack, he started naming all of these people. And he said, the Democrats had a crazy bullpen. And I said, what's the bullpen? He said, people that are next up when they get rid of the ones that's not doing what they're supposed to do. Next man up. I don't know if y'all know what y'all thought, because people leave my platform sometimes or somehow that the show stops. We're doing better than ever. New shows on the way. Frame fights got motion. What you thought that people was going to stop watching because you walked away? We get another one. We upgrades. We always got a bullpen. You think that it's a shortage of bad women that are available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, that's willing to come on here and say, oh my God, Anton, you're so cute. I know, baby girl. Y'all be tripping over this small stuff, willing to crash out, willing to leave, willing to throw away everything that you'd ever worked for. That remind me of women that's willing to throw away the man that they didn't pick. You rocked with him when he was broke, and he finally getting rich, and you mad because he got a little head. What? So you stayed when he was broke, but you leaving when he rich. What sense does that make? You a fool. You better renegotiate your terms. Understand how you're supposed to fit into this equation. You better play your role. Or not. Upgrades is available everywhere. All I see is upgrades. Upgrades everywhere. All you'll have in the morning is your self-respect. I promise you. When you move back into your mom's basement and you look on Instagram and you see that next girl that's sitting where you should have been at, it's always going to be an opportunity. You got choices to make. You got choices. You got a choice to make. You think that your job going to stop because you pissed off at the people that I demanded myself. I seen a video of a dude that said, yeah, man, I got fired because I demanded my self-respect. Did you have another job lined up? Was it another opportunity? Whenever I was having problems at the job, you know what I did? I smiled. And I dug in a little bit more as far as making sure that they understand that I was a team player. And the minute that I got home, I started revising my resume, focusing on changes and upgrading and started networking. Hey, man, what's going on over there? Oh, you in that industry? Oh, man, let me come and see you. They never knew when I was leaving. They never had a go. They said, oh, man, Anton is really, really down in. When I was at Comerica, and I told y'all the story about how my boss had got on me and said, Anton, you need to stop running in the Victim Olympics. Go read Henry Kissinger's Diplomacy and get it together. And I said, you know what? You right. And I dug in. I read the book. I did what I was supposed to. I smiled. I came in with a new attitude, and I was looking for a whole new job the whole time. The whole time I was networking. The whole time I was networking. Turns out, didn't even have to find one. Big windfall came in. I wound up retiring at 37 years old. I said, I won. And then a person that I was working with at that same place that was like, yo, you're doing great. He wound up offering me a crazy bag to come back into corporate America. That's when I went into Flagstar Bank. I don't get externally mad. I get internally motivated. Okay, well, wait a minute. How are we going to play this out? I'm pissed right now. I just want to crash. I want to crash out. Chill out. Get a little bit of box. Calm me down. Eat some pizza. Take a nap. Wake up with a whole new idea and a lease on life. Like, you know what? Maybe this is a sign that I need to be going and moving in a different direction. I'm moving. I'm making adjustments. I'm never going to, when I don't like you, I'm planning. I'm not going to tell you that I don't like you. I'm going to make adjustments and I'm going to get to the next bag. I'm going to find another opportunity. It's always something. It's always another play. Always an upgrade that's in the works. That's my life motto. It's always another opportunity somewhere around there. I just got to figure it out. Never do what you want me to do. I'm going to do what I want to do. I'm going to play it. When I left Comerica, my man said, when I left Comerica, he said, oh man, I thought we were good. I said, we're great. They said, can we get you to stay? My time here is up. And I listened. And I left on amicable, great. Listen, you guys are great. And I loved working here. But it's time to go. Put the battery in my back. You ain't got to tell me twice that I need to get my life together. Oh, yeah? Bet. It's up. It's up. It's always another opportunity. Always another place. So what am I telling y'all? I'm telling you to live life and control the narrative on your terms. On your terms. Women, what are y'all doing? Let me give y'all a little bit of advice. When you have a situation, whatever that is, applicable to however you want to play it, relationships, jobs, friendships, You went on a girls trip and they made you pay extra for your meal and you pissed off and you don't understand why you got to pay when you only had a salad and a lemonade and they all ordered steak. Never show it. Never show your piss. Don't go on social media. Don't do a story time. Don't sit there and say, oh, we not friends no more. Pay it and make adjustments. If he cheat on you, oh my God, I can't never be with a man because they all need love. Oh, you know what? That's leverage. That's leverage now. You know what you got? You know what you got? Listen, if I was to ever get cheated on, do you know how much leverage I would use? You know how I would play that? That's leverage. Calm down, shut up, stop crashing out, and chill out and think your way through this. Okay, wait a minute. What just happened here? What just happened here? No, but you want to jump out the window, get emotional, turn it into something that is not. No, don't embarrass yourself. Don't go posting it on Facebook, Instagram. Don't put it up next to a Drake song. Don't do none of that. Sit down. Get you a coaching call. We're going to work through this together. Okay, so wait a minute. How this playing out? What's your situation? You got kids? How long you been with them? You married yet? Okay, all right. Well, we got to get you a post-nuptial agreement, right? Because it's important that you don't want his reputation embarrassed because now you're messing up the money. And when you mess up the money for him, you mess up the money for you. So we're going to go ahead and make some adjustments. So this is how it's going to play. You got all the leverage now. What are we doing? Why would you crash out? Why would you mess up the bag for everybody? You want to win or you want to be broke? How you want to play this? You want to renegotiate your contract? You want a max contract? Or you want to be out there with Jaden Ivey? You max contract? Brian contract? Wemby? Delonte West? Which one you want? Oh, now you get it. Now you get it. Crashing out publicly, embarrassing yourself, looking stupid. Make sure y'all hit a like. That's how we gonna start off the show. Make sure you hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Come on, y'all. We back. This is what we are. Make sure you tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. Let me read some of these Cash App Super Chats. Let's get it popping for the show. Yeah. So first things first, a little bit of housekeeping. I will be in Rio, Brazil. This is Brazil. Late flight tonight. I got like a 8 p.m. or 7:47 p.m. flight tonight. Tomorrow morning, I'm going to be in Brazil. Let me give you all a tip, travel tip. All right. Always make sure your money right when you go out of town, especially out of the country. Because a lot of times you're going to land early. When you land early, right, you may land at 7 a.m., you may land at 10 p.m. Book the day before, right? So you can't check in until 3 p.m. in most places. I always book for the day before so that I'm basically still in. I check in mobily. I'm still in. Soon as I land, if I go straight to the hotel, I still got a room. And I don't have to mill around trying to figure out what I'm going to do all the way up until 3 p.m. So I don't know what time I'm going to be fully checked in. But whatever time that I get in, shortly after that, we're going to be live streaming. I'm already have it set up. I'm going to plan that out for y'all. So it might be off on the times tomorrow. Okay? When we jump on the live stream on the Millionaire Morning Show, our times might be off. It may be later on in the afternoon. I don't know. But we're still streaming tomorrow. When I get to Brazil, and I get settled, we still going to be streaming tomorrow, so we're going to get there, all right? But late night flight tonight, flying overnight. We're going to get over there, and then we're going to figure it out when we get there, okay? Let me see what else is happening. I'm going to do the Cash Apps and then the Super Chats. I want to say what up to Shaquille Brown. Says you called it AD, Detroit, but belt to A. Everybody that owe me money, Everybody that owe me money because I took bets, I know that y'all was like, no, I'll take that. Cool. Listen, I love gamblers. I love gamblers. Everybody that I got in touch with all of y'all except for two of y'all. But I know that y'all was waiting for me to reach out to you. I said I was going to get to you in the morning. You know what my Cash App is. You know what my PayPal is. You know what my Venmo is. And you know what most of y'all know what my Apple Pay is. Send it over electronically and then get your bets in for the next series. And I'm going to make sure that we all settle up. And then we're going to make sure that we recap for the next series. All right. Thank you. I appreciate your patronage. I appreciate the bets. Shout out to all of the bettors out there. And shout out to all of the doubters. I appreciate y'all. Y'all are absolutely awesome. Shout out to Shaquille Brown. And thank you to the Pistons for getting me that bag. Y'all gonna wind up paying for my next season tickets when I'm done with y'all. Mike that dude. What up to Mike that dude? I appreciate you, Mike that dude, for holding me down. Malcolm, I'm gonna need you to go ahead and make that bet next time. To my girl Molly. Man, let me tell you something, bro. There's very few women in this world that I adore more than Molly. Molly has been with me for years. That's my baby girl. She can do no wrong in my eyes. Shout out to my girl Molly. I love Molly in real life. In real life, that's mine. Y'all can't even talk to her. You can't reach out to her. You can't contact her. You don't know her. You don't know nothing. You don't know nothing about her. Anytime that anybody need to get in touch with Molly, come ahead and holler at me. And then I'll vet through and filter through, and I'll see if I'm interested in you even being able to have a conversation, and then we'll go from there. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my girl Molly. I love her in real life. Mike, that dude, Spencer Campbell. What up to Spencer Campbell? Sterling says, my moms think we lost voting rights. Please explain. So did your mom fall for the propaganda? So Supreme Court ruled in Louisiana that you can't redraw lines based off of race alone, and all of a sudden your mom thought she lost rights? Just tell her to go to the polls next election and see what happens. Matter of fact, if she's a Democrat, let her think it. That way she don't go to the polls. Keith Brown says Rudy Giuliani, Borat 2 actor, is on his way out. What up, Keita? What up? What up? What up, baby girl? What up, Queen? I'm going to call you Queen. Blessed to see year 44 today, 19. Shout out to my 82 babies. I'm an 82 baby. Shout out to my 82 babies. Happy birthday, baby girl. Eric TV says, good morning, AD. God bless you. God bless you too, my friend. Keaton DJ Trick says, sorry I'm late. I came to say one thing. Detroit basketball. Hey, shout out to Paulo Banchero. I feel sorry for him. He worked so hard. He was shooting, but he ain't had no help. Desmond Baines. Y'all will be better off next year. Paulo, come on over to the Pistons. We wouldn't mind having you here, big dog. Did I miss something? Oh, okay. They just started playing out of nowhere. I'd rather show the racist guy I'm the American dream and racism can't stop me, but it's stopping him by focusing on me. Now watch me drive this fancy car and make sure my rent is paid by the first. Boy, let me tell you something. Let me tell you what happens when you really get to the next level. I don't have to show him anything. I'm not trying to. What y'all don't understand is that people that are hateful don't become less hateful when you show them that you've won. They just keep doing whatever it is that they move on to the next person that they think that they can rage bait. T.S. Carl Washington Detail says in New Jersey, you saw United Airlines crash into a semi. I did hear about that. I seen that jump up on my notifications. They rented a jet for prom. Insane. Tazzy, what up, Tazzy? My pops always told me with the 50 ball. That's why Tazzy is rich. My pops always told me, feel the emotion and sit with it, but don't act on the emotion itself. Solve the problem, evoking that emotion, and continue down that pathway of life. This is why we need strong fathers in our lives. My father told me similar things. He said, Anton, life is 10% of what happens to you and 90% of how you react to it. How you going to play your game? How you going to play your game? Tazzy, thank you for holding me down. Thank you for the 50 ball, my friend. You know I love you, bro. My rich friends. Corey says, you're going to have to get that back in blood, big dog. No, you're going to have to get it back in blood. Let me tell y'all something. I'll give y'all another example, but let me finish these super chats. TS Car Wash and Detail Service says that Knicks versus Philly going to be tough. Man, we want New York. I love Philly, but we want New York, bro. I want y'all to win because I want to meet y'all. Chris Cunningham says, you know why I'm here. What up to my dog, Chris Cunningham in the building. 392Q says, you think K need help too? I think that we fine. We got everything that we need. TS Car Wash and Detail Services, ATL and Magic went out bad. No, they went out like they were supposed to. They went out in the game 7. They went out in the game 7. They went out exactly how they were supposed to. I was going to say something else. Y'all threw me off. Gosh. What was I about to say? Life is 90% of how you react. 90% of how you react to it. 10% of what happens to you. 90% of how you react to it. I was going to say something else. Not to get it back in blood comment. I think it's going to come back to me soon. It'll come back to me soon. Let's start off with Spirit, y'all. Now, of course, I told y'all that this was going to happen. I already told y'all that this was going to happen. I told y'all inside of the Patreon that this was going to happen. I've been telling y'all on the Millionaire Morning Show for months that this was going to happen. When I was talking about the Frontier Spirit merger, this was going to happen. When I was talking about JetBlue a long time ago, back when Biden was in office, this was going to happen. And so I've been telling y'all for a long time that Spirit Airlines was going out of business. And I'm going to tell you something else. This is going to give a temporary boost to Frontier, but it's not done. There will be more bloodshed between these airlines, and more airlines are going to go out of business. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications.
Another big story in the skies this morning. Spirit Airlines is ceasing operations overnight after bailout talks with the White House broke down.
The low-cost carrier leaving thousands of workers and travelers in a major bind. Chanley Painter has the details. Good morning, Chanley.
Hey, good morning, guys. So earlier today, the company announced it was going out of business and ending its operations immediately, telling passengers to not even go to the airport, saying, quote, to our guests, all flights have been canceled and customer service is no longer available. Despite the company's efforts, the recent material increase in oil prices and other pressures on the business have significantly impacted Spirit's financial outlook. With no additional funding available to the company, Spirit has had no choice but to begin this wind down. Well, this morning's announcement could impact hundreds of thousands of travelers and reportedly some 17,000 employees. Through the month of May, some 9,000 flights and 60,000 potential passengers are now impacted. Plus, the airline would have had 1.8 million seats to sell and would have had some 300 flights per day. Spirit's shutdown comes after a deal with the federal government could not be finalized and as the budget carrier struggled to get back on its feet after a second bankruptcy in less than a year. According to the Wall Street Journal, the airline had been seeking a $500 million lifeline from the Trump administration. The president said this yesterday.
Well, I guess we're looking at it. If we could do it, we'd do it, but only if it's a good deal. But if we can't make a good deal, no institution's been able to do it. I said, I'd like to save the jobs. We gave them a final proposal.
Well, now other major carriers are stepping up to assist stranded Spirit workers and passengers, including Frontier Airlines, who tweeted, quote, "We are ready to support customers who may be impacted if Spirit Airlines ceases operations, with a focus on helping people continue their travel plans with low fare options."
So the Frontiers of the world and the United Airlines and all of these places, they're looking for to get customer loyalty, right? The airline industry is very much just like any other industry, the software industry, the operating system industry, the dedication when it comes to AI platforms. What is Anton talking about? Let's look at it from a business perspective, because it's easy to mine this out as far as how people feel, and we'll get to that in another part of the show. But let's look at this from a business perspective. The reason why loyalty programs exist is to keep you within the ecosystem of whatever you're doing, right? When I go to movie theaters, now that we're back in the movie theaters and we watch a lot of movies, I usually go to the same movie theaters on a regular basis. I don't go because of the rewards, but a lot of people do, right? They offer these packages because they want you to keep coming back. Usually people that get into the Android system, they stay integrated into the Android system. When people get into the Apple system, the Apple ecosystem, they stay in that ecosystem because it's much easier for your workflow if you just integrate certain things. And so a lot of times this AI race, the early customer acquisition of the AI race was to keep you in the ecosystem. Most of the time when people start using ChatGPT, unless they are using a comparative at the same time, I use two different at the same time. I use Gemini and I also use Claude, right? And there's other platforms that I'm experimenting with. But when you're integrated into the ecosystem, when you get Gemini, let me tell you the difference between ChatGPT and Gemini. Gemini is a Google product. Google packages it and bundles it also with storage. They give you 250 terabytes of storage. Well, what did that do? That got me starting to move certain files and certain things over. So I said, if I'm already going to pay for Gemini on a regular basis, then I might as well leverage all of the space that I got and get rid of the costs to have other storages, right? And so I'm slowly moving away and integrating things away from other storages because I'm part of the ecosystem. It's easy for me to pull files now, right? Once you integrate into Claude, if you are a developer and you're using Claude as an assistant, an AI assistant for you to build things faster, you become a part of that ecosystem and you never leave it alone. And so you become a lifetime customer, right? It's the same thing with any loyalty system. All of them are the same. Credit cards, right? A lot of times they get you into the loyalty system with Marriott or Amex Platinums or the Chase Sapphire, and they continue to extend that credit line because you're less likely to leave that ecosystem, which allows for you to pay the interest once you've swiped your card or you get certain benefits. You're used to booking certain trips, and so that just becomes a part of the ecosystem. It's the same thing with airlines. People that fly Delta only pretty much fly Delta. People that fly American Airlines, they become a part of the ecosystem. Even if they're looking at the people over at Delta and they saying, oh man, y'all getting a great deal, they stay with American Airlines. Why? Because that's where all of their points, that's where all of their flight miles are, that's where all of their stuff are. So now what you see a lot of these airlines are doing is that they are trying to cannibalize Spirit customers and make them a part of the ecosystem. Car companies want you a part of their ecosystem. That's why they have a Halo car. The Halo car is the thing that you really, really love. And then they base some of the design principles and they get you into the ecosystem as far as the cars that you ultimately work up to as far as the Halo cars, right? Yo, you get a Porsche Macan, and then you're going to want to stay with that because you're a part of that or whatever. And hey, listen, we can get you out of the lease early, 6 months early. That way you ain't got to wait to get something new. So we want to move you up to the Cayenne. And yo, listen, oh, snaps, you really getting rich now, right? Because you're going to make more money throughout your career. Your highest earning potential isn't into your late 50s, early 60s. And so they know that you eventually going to get richer. That's why they built the relationship. People don't leave their banks. They stay with the same banks for a long time. People are loyal based off of what they're used to. It becomes a part of their ecosystem. I know people that was in Comerica Bank for 50 years, all the way up until it became a wealth management thing that they're using in order to, that's how Comerica branded itself. We're a wealth management bank. Oh man, we can have all the way up until they die. They don't even look at nothing else because that's what the goal is, to keep you in the ecosystem. And so with cars, you graduate through the cars. And you know what? I need a 911. You know what? Oh, man, that's crazy. People that get Benzes, usually they get the baby Benz. They get the C, right? They get the C. And then hopefully they can work their way up to the G or the S or the AMG's version of the S and the G, the G63, S600. Get to the Maybach version of it. You know what I'm saying? And so you can build up a customer for life, or you can skin it one time by adding value to them, and then they add value to you. Y'all loyal to each other, and then that's what y'all wind up doing great. And so what you see all of these airlines are doing is that they're lowering the cost, right? One of the pictures is, well, all of the airlines are saying we're going to cap tickets at $200. We're going to work with the transportation secretary and the Trump administration. Some of y'all are stranded. You can't get back because there is no HR. There is no airline anymore. They ran out of money. And so we're going to cap you getting home at $200, and then hopefully you become a part of the ecosystem. And you get to experience what maybe a better airline, maybe a better experience, right? See, look at Callie Rain. He said, I'm a Beamer guy. There's people that bought a Ford truck, bought a Ford pickup. They'll never buy any other pickup in their life. Built Ford tough. And then they market it. These companies market it to y'all and they say, hey, are you a Ford guy? And then y'all take it and y'all run with it. Oh, man, I don't mess with Ford. I'm a Chevy guy. Oh, man, I'm a Mopar dude. What? You going there? Man, we Mopar. They build whole communities, whole channels, whole forums, whole discords are dedicated to just being a Mopar guy. I went to Cars and Coffee. I'm going to show y'all that on the Patreon. I got some videos. We're going back to back to back. We're releasing 3 videos on the Patreon, back to back to back. I went to Cars and Coffee on Saturday. I'm driving in my car, and the guy says, hey, I'm going to show y'all this. He said he had the old Lamborghini Diablo. He says, hey, that's a nice car. I said, oh, yeah, that's a nice car also. He said, yo, you got anything to do? I said, we talking in the car. I'm recording it. I'm vlogging. He says, come on over. Going right up the street. Okay. Go on over it. Head over there. It's the Cars and Coffee. He got the Lambo hat, Lambo thing, Lambo this, Lambo that. Yeah, man, I'm a Lambo guy. Then you see the Porsche guys over there. You see the Rolls. You see the old Bentleys. You see the old Lamborghini Countach. It's Cars and Coffee. Hey, man, what's your name? So now I get invited to the club. Why? Because I'm in a Lambo. So now the networking opportunities. He's a lawyer. He's a judge. This guy is a business owner. He owns a whole set of restaurants. He's a developer. He's this. So I get invited into the inner circle because I got a car that qualifies. It's a loyalty program. I vowed that I'm going to leverage this car and get everything that I can out of it. And I'm going to use it to my advantage. Here's my card. Okay. All right, cool. Oh, he had a Lamborghini Countach. He did. It's the loyalty programs.
United and American Airlines say they are also ready to help. American says it has capped ticket prices on routes where it directly competes with Spirit to help limit disruptions, guys. Back to you.
All right, Chanley. Thank you,
Chanley.
And that breaking news, Spirit Airlines reportedly closing down within the hour. We have just received an announcement from a union representing flight attendants that was sent out to its members announcing the midnight end to the budget airlines. NBC4's Macy Jenkins has been at LAX since late this afternoon talking to passengers, and she joins us live right now with details. Macy, what do you know?
Well, Robert, there was chaos and confusion earlier. Now we have an answer. Spirit saying that in the next hour, it will cease its operations. The Association of Flight Attendants releasing a statement in part tonight saying we are delivering the hardest news of our lives, that Spirit will permanently cease operations at 3 a.m. Eastern time on May 2nd. We have a lot to address together, and we will. Our union is with us now and always. Friday full of headaches for Spirit Airlines passengers at LAX.
And I got a text message that states his flight is canceled.
Travel plans disrupted.
They just had to be rebooked on a different Spirit flight.
The counters empty.
Somebody said that they give pilots and airlines attendants severance pay. I don't know if y'all know this, because y'all used to getting laid off and, oh my God, we're going to give you several weeks of severance or whatever. That's not how it works when a company closes. When a company closes completely, that means they don't have no money. They're done. Their last lifeline was trying to negotiate with the Trump administration and saying, hey, man, can we get $500 million to keep the airline open? And what do you want for it? They couldn't come to a deal. It's over. They have no more money. It's not a dollar. And not only do they not have no money, but they got debt. Completely debt. Debt. Ain't no severance, ain't no nothing. It's unemployment line. It's it. That's it. That means that you, weeks ago, months ago, when y'all seen that JetBlue was trying to buy the joint, when y'all seen that they was trying to merge with Frontier, that for me would have been the siren that went off in my head. Wait a minute. Okay. Let me go ahead and get my resume together. Let me make some adjustments and let's do what we got to do, baby. Exactly. One of your old friends was a pilot for Spirit, but he got a job with American because he knew that Spirit was shutting down. That's don't be the last person out the door. Don't be the last person out the door. Y'all not that loyal, are you? There is nothing left. There's no HR. There's no transitioning. There's no nothing. It's over. The airline is over. The kiosks shut down. That part of the hangar has no maintenance workers in there.
Yeah, no workers here right now, so everybody just lost.
The explanations non-existent.
Well, I mean, nobody's there, and I'm kind of confused. I'm not going to talk to an AI to figure out what I needed to do.
Yeah, you are. That's exactly what you're going to do.
To talk to a human.
All but 2 Spirit flights in and out of LAX are canceled tonight as word circulates about the company preparing to shut down. President Trump said Friday afternoon his administration has proposed a $500 million package.
Welcome to the show. What up? Welcome to the show, everybody that's here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description, as well as pinned to the top of the chat. We cooking.
Federal government control of up to 90% of the airline.
We're looking at trying to help them, something we're not looking to get involved with, but if we can, it's 14,000 jobs.
A Spirit spokesperson declined to comment on ongoing discussions and told NBC News that Spirit is operating as usual. The airline carries more than 40 million passengers a year, operating a fleet of roughly 200 planes out of airports across the U.S., including LAX, Hollywood Burbank, and John Wayne. Spirit has filed for bankruptcy protection twice and announced plans to restructure in March to avoid shutting down. Last year, a federal judge blocked a merger with JetBlue, and now it faces surging jet fuel costs and increased competition.
This is not a viable business model anymore. The larger airlines, United, Delta, and so forth, they've all developed a super economy class specifically to compete against Spirit Airline type carriers.
Aviation expert Steve Cowell says the pilots and flight attendants will likely find work with other airlines, but support staff may have a tougher time finding positions. Cornell Bates and his wife say they've been blindsided as they end their honeymoon, trying to figure out now how to get home to Louisiana.
Yeah, no, I'm feeling very sad.
Wait. Somebody said it inside of the chat. So y'all took a flight, and you are 100% right. I bet you they knew about Cardi B and Stephon Diggs. I bet you they familiar with everything that's going on social media. Y'all took a flight with all of this news that's been going on with Spirit. For everybody that's on Spirit, y'all took a flight and y'all expected for it to stay open? Jay said these high fuel prices cause them to shut down. Bro, this has been decades in the making. All you got to do is look at their balance sheet. All you got to do is look at their corporate calls, their quarterly calls. Ray Charles could have told you that Spirit Airlines was going out of business and say second bankruptcy. This ain't got nothing to do with fuel prices. That's the thing that kicked them over the edge. They was broke. This ain't got nothing to do with no fuel. It's been years, literally years in the making. Everybody know that Spirit was going bankrupt. Nobody, only the fools was in there trying to figure out, oh man, how can we invest more in the Spirit? I told my bag chasers, I said, don't you ever. Somebody asked me a question during the live stream when we were doing Stock Club, and they said, Anton, can I invest in this airline? What would you suggest? I said, man, listen, I don't tell people what to do. I tell people what I do, but I'm going to tell you in this instance, don't you ever invest in an airline. Don't ever, under no circumstances. Bag chasers know this. They know this. What we talking about? I don't understand. I think that there's going to be more consolidation, more airlines going out of business, and I think that they need to consolidate. This competition is overrated when it comes to certain industries. They're debt laden, and I think that Frontier is going to be next. It's going to be several. JetBlue, Frontier. Pick one. Pick one. Pick one. You can't offer a flight for $30 one way. You're going to go out of business. Whoever was still pricing Spirit at $30, bro, 10 years ago, they should have been rebranded. They should have got a whole nother logo. They should have had less yellow, more black with yellow outline. They should have been rebranding themselves as a airline for middle-class workers or middle-class population, more luxury, less price, something of that, more luxury, less price. They should have been competing. They should have had better seating. They should have rebranded themselves. But no, they wanted to play this and do a $30 one-way ticket. What you think was going to happen? And then it didn't help because y'all kept on fighting. Y'all was still fighting at the checkout counter. What's going on with Nostalgia Queen? Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm. I'm going to read these super chats in a second. What's going on here? What's going on with you? What happened? What y'all congratulating her for? Tell me. I need to know. Tell me. I need to know what's going on with my people. Nostalgia Queen, what's happening? What did I miss? What you told people that's had them congratulating you before we move into the next part of the show? Oh, your husband. Congratulations. Congratulations to the husband for graduating. Yo, that's dope. Congratulations to you. Congratulations to you and your family and your husband and everybody for doing their thing. Y'all deserve all great things. I need to know what y'all talking about inside of the chat. Talking about congratulations and all of this stuff. What's going on? I want to congratulate somebody. Mr. Youngblood City says, it's hard to be profitable in the airline business. I honestly think they should make it a public No, it should not be like public transportation. So it's publicly funded but no, heck no. We don't need any more subsidizing of taxpayer dollars to fix an industry. No. Are you a socialist? Mr. Youngblood City, what are we talking about? No, we don't need the government in business, in the airline business. I absolutely disagree. Dirty Woman says you can't just sell cheap products. You have to sell cheap products and higher end versions plus some kind of loyalty program in order to hit more target markets and balance out your books. That's a fact. They had that $9 fare club. Let me go to Spirit's website real quick. Spirit, low-cost airfare, the way you, I feel so bad. Let me share my screen. I just pulled it up. I said, what's happening? A lot of yellow. For the guests should not go to the airport. For more information regarding your refund status and next steps, please visit the guest page. For vendors ain't getting paid. Nope. Great disappointment that on May 2nd, Spirit Airlines started an orderly wind down of our operations. Effective immediately to all of our guests, all flights have been canceled. Customer service is no longer available. We are proud of the impact of our ultra low cost model on the industry for over 33 years and had hoped to serve guests for many years to come. Contact information. Dang, you can't even go to the regular website no more. Media inquiries. They got a consulting company for the media inquiries. FTI Consulting. This is where you go to contact information. Spirit Aviation Holdings Incorporated. Debtors. Yeah. If I was a vendor, I wouldn't even have been shipping them nothing because I knew I wasn't going to get paid. Knew you wasn't going to get paid. Guests. Let's see. Refund status. Lost bag. If you lost some baggage, you just out of luck. Lost baggage. Just wrap it up. I heard it was a Spirit employee that got arrested. Hold on. Let me find that. Give me a second. I got you. I got you.
Electronics, even shoes flying away from luggage at Norfolk International Airport. Now, a former baggage handler, Sterling Southall, faces 2 counts of felony grand larceny. And on your sides, Karina Garcia dug up those details in court paperwork. Karina, this is kind of the story that every person going to the airport is scared of.
Yeah, that is right, Aisha. This case all centers around a former baggage handler who worked here at Norfolk International Airport. Though airport officials stress he no longer works with them and was not even employed by Norfolk International. He actually was employed under Spirit Airlines.
Sterling Southall stands accused of stealing from passengers on at least 2 separate Spirit Airlines flights. Paperwork shows both victims were traveling from Norfolk to Fort Lauderdale and didn't realize anything was wrong until they landed. The first case dates back to September of 2025. According to court documents, Spirit Airlines was aware of the incident, but Southall remained employed. It wasn't until a second reported theft in November that he was terminated.
Hearing that on a regular is a normal no, but with Spirit, it doesn't surprise me.
Norfolk airport officials now stressing this appears to be an isolated incident with no indication of a larger theft ring, but rather one employee acting alone. In one case, a passenger reported a pair of high-end sneakers worth at about $1,000 missing. In another, police say a designer Montclair jacket valued.
Hold on. Let me see something. Let me back up a little bit. At approximately 3 hours, 0300 hours, and observe Southall on duty in the baggage handling area with access to the affected flight and checked luggage. Your affiant personally observed Southall manipulating the passenger luggage in a manner consistent with theft. Basically, he was going through the luggage to try to figure out what he could steal. He was further observed in possession of gray and white Nike Jordan sneakers, matching the description of the stolen property. The sneakers were valued in excess of $1,000. Southall was observed concealing the sneakers beneath his jacket prior to departing the secured area of the airport. You gotta be a dusty person to steal somebody's gym shoes. You have to be one of the dustiest people in the world to go through somebody's stuff, put gym shoes inside of your jacket, and walk out. Do I got a jacket here? I got any jackets here? Let me see this. You a dusty dude, bro. All right, y'all. I'm leaving out for the day. I'm going to holler at you later. How do you steal sneakers? How do you steal sneakers out of some? Do you know the level of effort that you have to make? You know the level of effort that you have to make in order to steal some sneakers and walk out? Let's say that you're a size 13, for example. Oh man, I just got into this sneakers is my size, right? They got my size. You go through, you just so happen to find a size pair of 13 sneakers. You know how hard that is to put inside of a jacket? What kind of jacket do you buy to where you can steal somebody's sneakers and put it in your coat? This is dust mite activity right here. This is dust mite activity right here. So dusty. I can't stand a thief. There is nothing worse than a thief. I call this my Snuggie hoodie. Shout out to y'all for sending me this. It's my Snuggie hoodie right here. This is one of the most comfortable. Look at the inside of this joint. Oh, man. Whenever I want to get Snuggie, get the inside of that. See that lining in there? Smug, how you feeling? Be comfortable, warm. Warm. Got all of the white stuff on me now. AD smiling like a kid, so cute. Oh, let's see what else we can mine out of this. On November 26, 2025, at approximately 7:30, your affiant spoke with Mr. Brandon Redd and completed a police report. Mr. Redd stated that on November 25th, 2025, he departed Norfolk International Airport on Spirit Airlines flight NK-1829 to Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Upon arrival and unpacking his checked luggage, he discovered that a multicolored Montclair puffy jacket valued at $2,000 was missing. Your affiant reviewed surveillance footage from November 26 and again observed Southall on duty on the baggage handling area with access to the affected flight and luggage. He was observed manipulating passenger luggage in a manner consistent with theft again. Your affiant later further observed Southall in possession of and wearing a multicolored Montclair puffy jacket matching the description of the stolen property while exiting the baggage handling area. Hey, dog said, I'm gonna wear this out. He wore him, and he got to say, hey, dog, that's what you see. And again, ladies, sometimes when y'all seeing a dude that's fresh does not mean that he fresh. It mean that somebody else was fresh and now he stole it. He carjacked him. Y'all meeting this dude, girl, he got money. He got him a Montclair jacket on. You know how much that jacket is? That jacket is like $2,000+. You don't even know that he an airport baggage handler, which is nothing wrong with being an airport baggage handler, but he stole that. He stole it. He wore it out. Jesus. Wore him a Montclair jacket out. Crazy.
say a designer Montclair jacket valued at around $2,000 was taken. We spoke with travelers at the airport who say while baggage theft isn't common for them, it's not entirely surprising.
If you give certain people an opportunity to do bad, they will choose it. So I could see that because it is a lot of expensive luggage coming through and a lot of temptation.
And while theft is rare, travel hiccups do happen, like for Will Johnson traveling with Delta.
There was a little glitch today. Do you want to explain that?
When my suitcase, we found it on the carousel, one of the outer pockets was unzipped, and some items that were in there were lost. They're gone, and I don't know if they were lost or taken out. It seems like they would have had to been taken out. Thankfully, it wasn't. They weren't terribly expensive little things, but yeah, easily replaceable.
As for Southall, we went to the address listed in court documents, but no one answered the door.
Now, we did reach out to Spirit Airlines, who do confirm he is no longer employed with them, but no further comment beyond that. As for Norfolk International Airport officials, they tell us it was thanks to those who reported the suspicious activity that they were able to return some of these stolen items back to their owners. In Southall, he's due back in court come May 6th to face a grand jury.
Guess what, big dog? You know what the worst part about this whole situation is? Is that let me find his mugshot again. I don't like thieves. Nothing like a good old thief. You know what the worst part about this is? Spirit ain't even in business no more, and you still facing charges. You still got to face charges, bro. Spirit is out of business, and you still got to go to court for theft, and it's still going to be on your record. That was one of the things. Growing up, stealing wasn't an option. You know why? Just never wanted to have a record. Aside from it being the right thing to do, why would you want to have a record? Because you know, a lot of jobs nowadays, they will pull your rap sheet and they'll say, okay, so listen, are you a criminal? And it's going to say stole Montclair and Jordans. It's going to chase you down 10 years from now. It's going to, that's the crazy part about life, is that the things that you do is going to chase you down 10 years. You'll never, ever be able to get comfort because you are working and you changed your life. And when you get that new job opportunity, they're going to say, not 10 years ago, wait a minute, buddy. So you were still in Montclair and Jordans? You still in Montclair and Jordan. Real jobs do extensive background reports. That's the key. That's the key. You lost your opportunity because they do extensive background reports. Hey, you got any misdemeanors? Nah. You got any felonies? Nah. Yeah, you do. You were still in Montclair. And because it was over $2,000, that's actually grand larceny. It's grand larceny. And your life is that much harder, that much more difficult because you wanted to wear a jacket to stun on your friends. And it's so dumb. It's so dumb. If you don't get a ticket, get it for like speeding, or not saying that you should speed, but I'm just saying like something that's not going to question your morals and your values. All right, so he went a little fast in the car. He out of control. Okay, I feel you. You know what? I can get over that. You was young when this happened 10, 15 years ago? Yeah, dog, you crazy. You crazy, man. But you can't walk down some crimes. You can't walk down theft. Oh, man, he a kleptomaniac. Hey, man, hey, hide your purse, bro. He a thief. Thief. Hakeem. They full of stuff. Let them wear it. Messing with little children, you can't come back from that. Oh man, he liked to fondle kids. What? Girl, that's the ultimate red flag. It's some stuff you can't get away from. It's some stuff that you can get away from. Anton, what are some There are egregious crimes that you can get away with, and there's egregious crimes that you can't get away with. It's crazy. It's insane. Hey, man, he wound up killing somebody. You know what, girl? That was his past. You know, he was in a gang. He changed his life around. He not like that no more. Hey, girl, you know, he used to beat up on women. Oh, girl, that's the ultimate red flag. No. Because if he did it 20 years ago, then he'd do it today. He just having it's held down in him. You could talk to a murderer. You can't talk to a beater. I don't know how it works. I don't know why it works. I don't know how this plays out. But for whatever reason, we got different standards depending on the crimes. Am I off? You can kill a dude, but don't put your hands on the chick. That's right. I don't make the rules. I just react to the culture. I don't make the rules. I just react to the culture. If the aliens come down and say, how come you able to kill somebody, but you put your hands on the chick and they trying to remove all of your socials? I don't know, alien. I don't know, alien. That's just the way that it is. I don't know. That's the culture. Don't ask me. Don't blame me. I didn't make it this way. That's just the way that things go. We cross the line when certain things, it just don't fly. It just don't fly. Let me read some of these super chats, see what y'all talking about in these streets. Ben Wallace and Dennis Rodman, who you got? Oh man, I couldn't pick between them. They both legendary Pistons. If you're asking me to get somebody in the clutch, like you have to have the most locked down defender, I'm gonna take Dennis Rodman. If you're looking for more leadership, vocal, lead by example, underrated, then you're going to go with a Ben Wallace. You know what I'm saying? But if you're looking for just straight up, hey, man, I need you to get the best player and I need you to put him in a chokehold over there, then you got to get with Dennis Rodman. But I can't go against Ben Wallace because, they both Pistons. So I just love them both. But I'm going to take Dennis Rodman all day as a lockdown defender. Solution Trucking Channel says we need a watch party with you and Slimmy, Detroit versus Cleveland. The problem is I'm going to be in Brazil. Coach Chris says, if you were running Spirit Airlines, what would your business model have been to save it or at least be in that position? Or at least never be in that position? I think you just got to market it differently, right? What they should have gotten is an AI ran dynamic pricing system. An AI ran dynamic pricing system that allowed for them to compete more effectively, to raise prices, but not enough to where they would just to raise prices enough to undercut the competition and still be able to market yourself while rebranding over time. So you don't do it all overnight, right? You allow for yourself to increase profits while at the same time rebranding yourself and then having a completely different reputation. Airline companies a lot of times need to align themselves with certain people. They need to market themselves the same way as shoe companies. They need to market themselves with social media content creators. They can't just depend on being low cost, being the reputation alone. They have to move a little bit differently. Shout out to my girl, the Nostalgia Queen TV. Say, hey, Anton, I just wanted to shout out my husband, Chris, who graduated from the University of Pittsburgh this weekend. Oh, that's what it was. We are big bag chasers and happy to support you always. Much love. Shout out to Bianca. Happy birthday to husband Chris. Chris and Bianca doing it big. Run it up. Congratulations. Yeah, Coach Chris says, other than the airline industry, what business do you think has a poor business model and will fall flat within the next 5 years? I don't think that any industry is going to collapse and fall flat within the next 5 years. I just think it's just certain industries you don't invest in. I don't invest in anything that's a hard, Coach Chris, he be trying to get Patreon type content. Stay away from anything that needs brick and mortar that hasn't integrated itself from a technology perspective, and stay away from hotels, hotel companies, stay away from airline companies, stay away from just any hospitality industry, stay away from as an investment. All right. Neem says, yo, AD, I know you ran a restaurant, I'm looking to get a good truck trailer set up. You think you can provide any insight for us Patreon members? Yeah, we can do it on Patreon. I don't want to give all of that type of information to the general public because all of that is exclusive. What can I say publicly? If you're looking to get a good truck trailer set up, the first thing that you got to look for is a commissary. I'll give you this. You got to look for a commissary. And this is also for restaurant holders. For restaurant holders, you want to become a commissary, and for truck owners, in order for you to get your permit to do things that you need to do the right way, you have to prove that you have a good commissary. A commissary is a place that you're able to restock your truck, that you're able to clean, that you're able to actually show that you're storing, food, meat, all of that stuff, so that you can get the proper permits to be able to set up in certain places, right? The commissary for the restaurant side of it is a way for you to make extra money for them to use your facility when you're not there. Like, so overnight, they can use a facility to do whatever it is that they need to do. And so you can charge an extra fee for that. For the truck owners, for the food truck owners and stuff, you need to be able to validate where your commissary is going to go. So you need to build those relationships. And a lot of times the best relationships is with restaurants that could use you, but you don't necessarily have to pay a whole lot of money to get your own. You can just leverage the partnerships and the businesses. All right. There you go. There you go. Insight that a lot of people can't give you because they've never done it. Eric Harris says, Spirit is officially ghost. Rest in peace. Mr. Lott says, I hope folks didn't waste money flying Spirit from Orlando to Detroit. Talk to him, Mr. Lott. Talk to him. Yeah. Joe Robinson. What up, Joe Robinson? I feel you. TS Car Wash and Detail Service says, versus who you got, Ross or French? Personally, I'm taking Ross. Maybach music. Every day I'm hustling. My French got the bigger hit, but Ross got a more robust catalog, in my opinion. That song that he had with Sway Lee, it don't really get too much bigger than that with French. That Sway Lee song don't get too much bigger than that, but Ross got a longer catalog. Coach Chris says, is landscaping a good industry to get into for me? Yeah, sure. I think landscaping is fine. Riri says, good morning, AD. Spirit was supposed to have merged with JetBlue and Frontier, but the Biden administration blocked it. Yep. I covered it, Riri. Skinny Boy Knight says, I love you, man. I made money off of you, stock market. Of course, if you've made money off of me, make sure y'all let them know. Make sure y'all join the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. Bag Chasers. I got 3 vlogs that's coming out for y'all while I'm in Brazil too. Wyatt says, looking like rerun hiding a tape recorder. What's happening? Mr. Lott says, you can come back. You just got to pander and sell Miracle Lemonades and Fruit Punch or start a book club. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. What did we cover? 3 stories so far? We did Spirit. My man getting fired from Spirit. We did not 3 stories, but we had 3 segments. And we did the racist guy. All right, we good. I want to while we stand on the subject of money, let's talk about a couple more things about the money. But the first thing I want to do is I want to go over to Disney. All right. So they're telling me that Disney is laying off 1,000 people. I need to find that out. that's true. I need to find out the details of it. This a severance package? Oh, that's April. Is this a severance package? Oh, maybe I can pull that up. Oh, yep, that's true. That is a severance package. All right, let's go into this, y'all. So first of all, let's cover it from Forbes' perspective. They got these crazy amount of advertisements. I don't like that. Disney layoffs hit Marvel Studios hard. All right, let me share my screen with y'all. Walt Disney Company announced massive layoffs to streamline operations, according to a memo from CEO Josh. The cuts will affect about 1,000 employees across all arms of Disney's media holdings, including studios, TV networks, sports, and experiences. One division hit hard is Marvel, which is losing staff from both New York and Burbank across most areas of the organization, including film and TV production, comics, franchise, finance, and legal. That includes nearly the entire award-winning visual development team at Marvel Studios. These are artists, illustrators, character designers, environment designers, and other technical specialists responsible for the look of Marvel's film and television productions. From the Avengers to Guardians of the Galaxy to Daredevil, many have been with Marvel for a decade or more. Much of the entire department has been let go with only a small team of full-time production staff and artists remaining in place to coordinate the hiring of resources on a per project basis. So they don't want full-time employees working for Disney anymore. If they need to hire somebody, then they're going to bring them in on a per project basis. That means I'm a 1099 you for the project. We finish out the contract and you move on and I move on. They don't want hard employees no more. All right. Goes on to say, professional artists and others in my network began discussing this Tuesday afternoon as reports began to appear in trade publications about general Disney layoffs and their impact on Marvel. The layoffs largely were due to previously announced reduction in the Marvel Studios production slate, along with the general cost cutting and workforce reductions announced by Disney. It does not appear that these specific jobs were eliminated reasons involving AI, which has been a driver behind other shakeups in creative industries. Some visual development artists will transition from full-time to contractor status on a per project basis. Disney's move comes amid massive wave of job losses by creative professionals across entertainment, advertisement, video game, and media production industries. All right, so before I give y'all my insight on this, let me share with you guys the offer letter and a severance package. Paramount recently offered 2 weeks of pay for each year of service. Hybrid staffers didn't want to return to in-person work, and two people familiar with the package says. And they comparing the Disney's offer to Paramount. Okay. Washington Post kept laid off employees on this payroll from its February 4th layoff date through April 10th and gave 4 weeks of base pay plus 2 weeks a year for staffers who'd worked at the paper for more than 3 years, up to 45 weeks. NBC Universal was an outlier among media companies in giving one-size-fits-all exit offers to employees last fall during its RTO push. Disney's layoffs followed the unification of its enterprise marketing and brand teams earlier this year. Let's see. Wait a minute. All right, so this is what it is. Level of employment, length, and severance is non-manager. Hold on, let me scroll up. Non-manager, less than 5 years, you get 4 weeks of severance. A non-manager, more than 5 years, you get 1 week per year, up to 52 weeks. So you get 1 week of severance per pay year, up to 52 weeks for more than 5 years. So if you've been there for 5 years, you get 5 weeks. If you've been there for less than 5 years, you get 4 weeks. And for any additional year that you work there, you get an additional week of severance. Managers, that was non-managers. Managers for less than 5 years, you get 6 weeks of pay. Managers for more than 5 years, you get 4 weeks plus 1 week per year, up to 52 weeks. Same things, plus you get an additional 4 weeks. Director, less than 5 years, you get 13 weeks of pay. Director, more than 4 years, you get 6 weeks of pay plus 2 weeks per year, up to 52 weeks. So you'll never get more than 2 years worth of severance, okay? 26 weeks in it. Wait a minute. It's 26 pay periods, 52 weeks in a year. So you can get up to a year of severance. You can get up to a year of severance. I'm thinking about 26 pay weeks. VP or above, less than 5 years, you get 26 weeks of pay. VP or above, more than 5 years, you get 18 weeks plus 2 weeks per year, up to 52 weeks. So nobody is going to get more than a year of severance.
Bath at Disney, and Marvel Studios just took the worst of it. Yesterday, the company laid off approximately 1,000 employees company-wide, and nearly the entire visual development team at Marvel was let go.
Before I spread this post, when I saw it on social media, I needed to fact check it. So I reached out to my good friend Andy Park, who was the genius behind creating the original Wasp supersuit and the original Wasp concept drawings for the film Ant-Man and the Wasp, and just said, is this true? Is this really what's happening? And he said, yeah, it's true. I have been let go.
Now, this is Evangeline Lilly. She actually played in the Ant-Man and the Wasp, and I can pull that up for y'all. Give me a second. Let's see. Ant-Man.
Because if they're not working with us, they're working with somebody. So find out.
That's her right there. So that's her. All right. So she played in Ant-Man and the Wasp. That was her. And so now she's speaking about our good friends that are getting let go off of Disney. All right.
I can't quite believe that Disney have let go of the artists who brought the current Marvel universe to life through their imagination and their genius. That the people who invented these characters in the first place, who designed them in the first place, are now being replaced by AI.
She looks so much different than she do on the pictures. Evangeline. Really. Oh, she look weird all the time. She can look really, really pretty and bad, and then she look weird. How do they change shapes and how do they look like this? I don't be understanding this. So she could look like that, or she can look like that. Go with the feminist look, or she can look like that, or she look like she did in the Ant-Man and the Wasp, like that. Or she can look like that. They all just look different depending on where they at in their life, I guess. So
that will take their designs and take what those artists created and use it to create iterations of that. I am so sorry, Andy, and I am so sorry to every single one of the artists who were let go in the 1,000 artists that Disney fired, and particularly the entire team at Marvel who have been considered obsolete now after building the Marvel empire. If you're a huge fan of Marvel, just take a moment today to think about them, to send up a prayer for them, to honor the people who created the world that you fell in love with. That was a human invention. These were human creations. And they shouldn't be stolen by tech giants so that their robots can replicate them. I think it's disgusting and horrible. And I stand with all the artists, and Andy, I'm so sorry. And I love you guys.
So much to unpack here. So let me tell you why Hollywood has been so disconnected. These actors and actresses have been so disconnected for a long, long time. Is that these have traditionally been industries that have been protected against itself because entertainment has been booming. And so there's never been any real transformation. The budgets got bigger, the sets got bigger, the investments got bigger. And so you was doing $200 and $300 and $400 million movies, and more people was working than ever before. Now technology has advanced to the point to where it's now catching up to, and it's impacting what's happening in these industries. Her saying that these people, right, that were hired, remember, they were being compensated a wage that they agreed to in order to work on these sets. They were hired, and I hate to put it like this, but I got to look at it from a business perspective. They were hired to do a job. You don't own the franchise. Their work was not stolen. They were hired, and the IP, the images, and everything that was created is owned by Disney. You want me to break it down more to a middle class, relatable world? Okay, I'm gonna do it twice. I worked for several different companies throughout my career as a UX, UI director, software engineer, front-end developer. I've worked my way up through, all right? VP. The things that I created for the companies that I work for are owned by the company. When I leave, I don't get to take the buttons, the logos, the design, the application, nothing. It was not stolen from me. I was hired to do a job. They own it. It's their product. I have people that work for me that build houses, that build sites, that build apps, that help me create content. Guess what? I own the content. It's my content. Did they do a phenomenal job? Absolutely. But they were hired for a service. I own my own company. You as an employee don't get to take credit for what I own. Now, you get credit for being a creator. You can put it on your resume. You can go get another job. But unless you own the company, I don't know where y'all getting all of this. It's mine. They stole it. That type of rhetoric is dangerous because it leads you to believe that people, when they work for somebody else, that they signed up and agreed to work for them, somehow, some way has some equity unless you own stock in Disney. That's not how it works. The person that works on a plant floor that not only puts together the parts that is stamped out and is assembling the car, do not own the car that they're assembling. They're assembling it. They're being hired for a service to ultimately try to sell vehicles because that's how the company makes money. The designer, the person that designs the concept vehicles that ultimately a design language filters through into any brand, does not own that design. The company owns it. If you sign up to be an employee, and some of y'all are very well-paid employees, the company did not steal anything from you. Now, you can be upset at the industry that is messing up your job and replacing you, but throughout time, everything changes. That's just life. Robots help assemble cars on the factory floor that people used to complain that the jobs was too hard for. Now you don't need as many people on the factory floor in order to help assemble cars. Right? And again, I can be compassionate. I can have empathy for the people that are laid off, but I can also understand and look at it from a business perspective and say, that's life. That's life. And let me tell y'all something else. Anybody that's worth their salt in any industry knows when change is happening, when you're being upended, and you have to go back to school, or you have to start your own thing, or you have to market yourself, or you got to pivot, or you need to get more education, and you need to adjust. Even software engineers. Engineers understand that the game is continuously changing. New development languages, new priorities. There's been software engineers since before apps came around, since before iPhones was released. And then when the iPhone came released, guess what? They had to adapt to start developing applications for phones, native applications, not just websites, right? Developing and working on an OS, the operating system. A lot of people started to pivot into different industries. You had to learn new development languages, right? You had to keep your skill set up, or you had to go and start your own thing, or you need to just get in, invest, and get out. Anybody that is in any industry understands that change is forever. And you got to be able to see when the writing is on the wall for you. I never expected to be in software engineering or even transition into UX UI or being in corporate America. I never expected to be there forever. The plan was to leverage it for as long as I possibly could until I could no more. And hopefully my businesses outgrew my capacity to be able to serve them and still be an employee in those places. But also to have that in my back pocket just in case I ever needed to go back into corporate America. That was the plan. The plan was never to put my eggs in all of these baskets that y'all are putting y'all eggs in. But now you're being upended. Change is forever. Even in content creation. I see people outdated. You know who's going through it right now? Y'all want to know who's going through it right now? These IRL streamers. My job as a boss, my job as a company owner is to anticipate what's next and then to make adjustments and pivots as a result of it. I see different platforms popping up. I see where the money is, and you got to be able to make the change accordingly. These IRL streamers, they going through it right now. A lot of them is botting. They are. It's a lot of adjustments, a lot of changes that's always happening. The will to survive is going to be paramount. Like, you got to make adjustments always. You have to make adjustments. You have to. It made no sense to bot. Anton, why don't you bot? Because I'd rather actually build my organic audience. And like I'll give you an example. One of the things that Kevin Samuels used to say is, man, Anton, I want to be platform agnostic. I want to be platform agnostic. So what do you mean, Kev? He said, man, because Kev always kept in the back of his mind that these women was always going to come after him and they always wanted to take him out and cancel his platform, right? And so he said, Anton, I need to be platform agnostic. And then I said, why is that? He said, because I don't want to be dependent on one platform in order to be able to still get my stuff off. So he was always thinking about that and anticipating that in the back of his head. For me, I've always felt like it was better to build my own community, and my community is going to go where I was going to go. So when I was jumping into Patreon, everybody else was doing their own thing. Everybody else was still trying to build up their following. I was focused on Patreon way early, way before anybody else was getting popping. Now everybody's trying to do Patreon. But again, my job is not just to be a great streamer, not to be just a great content creator, but to anticipate changes and to focus on what's coming next. What is IRL content? IRL content is in real life content. So you know how you recording, and let's say they go out and they have a camera on them and all of that. It's streaming in real. iShowSpeed. iShowSpeed does IRL content. That means that stuff is happening in real time. He's streaming it as it happens, as he's walking out and about, and he's in different countries or whatever. And so other streamers do it because they've adapted, right? They used to only stream gaming. Then they were streaming their thoughts inside of their bedrooms, and they was doing all of that on Twitch and Kick and all of that. Then it became IRL. Now they're trying to pivot and come back to YouTube. I don't like IRL for me, because there's certain things in my life that you can't see. I don't want you to see. You don't need to see all of that. You don't need to see all of that. I'm already planning my next play. I'm already planning the next thing. I think it's going to be phenomenal. I think it's going to be big. But you don't want to see that. That wouldn't be good for nobody, I don't think. I don't think that would be smart. That wouldn't be wise. But change is happening all the time. Make sure you guys hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Disney. Let me take that off real quick. Disney. You know what? Let me see. While we're here, before we get back to the streets, man.
Thing that it is made of, code. It was once considered a high-skill task, but coding is now accessible to just about anyone with the help of generative AI.
It's so funny because these are the same type of guys that has worked in all of these industries forever. They look just like that. As a matter of fact, for a long time, that was the look of a developer. Older, white man, probably don't have any kind of relationship, is married to the game, baby. He's married to his craft. That's all he cares about is developing and coding. He don't go to the gym. He don't do none of that stuff. The only thing he cares about is the latest technology. And when he get home, he probably does something similar across technology. This is what most of these legacy developers look like that still work in any capacity in corporate America in the technology field. They look just like him. Take the face, take the whatever. They all look like him. The OGs. And let me tell you something else about these guys. These guys have bad attitudes. Oh my God, these guys have the worst attitudes ever. They don't like talking to people. They always looking for a go-between. They need a good project manager that makes them feel good about themselves and know how to communicate. These guys have the worst attitudes ever. When I see women complaining about, oh my God, they hate me at my job, Karens and all of this, you have not met an OG developer, bro. You have not met an OG developer. They negative the day that you come in. You might even hear them say something. And how long are you going to be here? And it's just a part of the game, baby. And guess why they can do that? Because they know every single piece of code. They probably helped hand build the original system. And they're always going to moan and complain. Oh, God. What do they want now? I got so many things to do. I got so many things to do. They're asking for requests there, asking for requests here. Who's going to pay for all of this? These guys talk like they own the company, bro. And so the smart people that comes in, especially when I was younger, I just adapt. You just deal with it. You take the bad attitudes, because once they start liking you and they feel you, they'll actually show you some stuff. And this is the best way. This is the best networking opportunity ever. You just when you get into being a developer and you first get in and you the lowest man on the totem pole and you come in and you up there with them, they have some of the worst attitudes, but they have some very, very great knowledge. So you just take your L's. Hey, and they don't want you to be extra enthusiastic. Hey, yeah, I was thinking about coming up with this new thing. Oh, yeah, you know what? There was a guy that did that before. It didn't really go anywhere. But they the greatest. They got some good mentorship. You stick around them for a long enough time, they'll start to trust you. They're going to start giving you some game, some insight, and they're going to be at that company the whole time. They're going to act like they'll leave one day, but they're not going nowhere. They're not going anywhere. They know where every file is. They got everything backed up on an external hard drives. Even though y'all making a migration into the cloud, they don't trust the cloud. They still got external. They got these. I learned from them. They keep a ton of these. Got to keep you some externals. I know we're making a migration, but guess what? I just don't trust it. I don't trust it. Because what if everything shuts down? I know we have redundancy, but did you see the fires? Oh, man. I got you. We got to reset. Give me a second. Hey, man. Yeah, man. Listen, did you see the fires? You see the fires, man? Always keep them some externals. Backing everything up. Backing all of their stuff up. Hey, guys, we got to format this external hard drive really quickly. You got some time? I'm going to have it formatting in the background while we're over here doing this and taking care of this. I'm not going to any meetings. I'm not going to any meetings. Okay? Not going to any more meetings today. I'm done. I have a lot of work to do. What do they expect for me to be here all night? They expect for me to be here all night? Sometimes they come in like this. Hey, we got the meeting with the CEO today. You not dressed up? Dressed up for what? Who's coming in today? You know, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. They always got Coke. Got a lot of Coke all over the place. Black soda everywhere. Eating. They don't dress up. They wear dingy jeans. They always got some Atari t-shirt on, and they're always looking comfy. Last time I was dealing with it, this is what they were saying. This is what he said. The boss came in. The manager came in. This was at the University of Michigan. They said, yeah, guys, so, you know, we're going to get a redesign in here. Oh, what does that mean? They're sitting over in the corner, eating their snacks. Well, what do you mean? What does that mean? What does that mean? What exactly does that entail? Well, listen, guys, you know how y'all got y'all cubicles? You know how y'all got y'all cubicles and stuff like that? Yeah. Well, we're going to get an open workspace, guys, to where we get new hotels. A hotel is supposed to be like a personal space. We're going to have collab spaces. We're going to have hotel areas for you to be able to do your work and stuff like that. Well, what's wrong, John? It's always a John. Where am I going to put all my stuff? I got important stuff over there. It's files from 87 that we're using to still back up this legacy system over there. Where we're going to put all of our stuff? Where am I going to put my... They already checked out of the meeting. There's nothing else for you to say to them. They don't want to talk no more. They got bad attitudes. And let me tell you what else happens. The company will still bend over backwards. Okay, well, guys, listen. We're not going to redo this area where John is sitting. John, Matt, and Jason. We're going to have the rest of it as collab space. It's okay, cool. Just don't touch my stuff. Don't touch my stuff. They always keep acting like they're going to retire. You know, I got 2 more years and I'm out of here. 2 years pass. You know, I got 2 more years and I'm out of here. You know, one day you're not going to see me. One day it's going to be over. They're not going nowhere, bro. They're not. They're the same as the old schoolers that's on the plant floor, that's used to making the cars. They're not going anywhere. This is their life. This is their lifeblood. They're not moving. They're not going anywhere. They will be there long after you done moved on. I can go up to the University of Michigan right up on Green Street, right now. And I'm telling you, I will find the same people sitting right there. This is what they look like. Let me show you. They look just like this. They're not interested in all of this gym life, bro. And let me tell you something else. They're liberal. They're not Republican. They're liberal. They make a lot of money. They got a lot of money put up in their 401k. They got some crypto accounts, and they're liberal. They're so liberal. One of them gonna have he got an Obama poster up there. They're so liberal, bro. Liberal, and hate the government at the same time. This is exactly who they are. I know, bro. I've had so many of them work for me. I've worked with them. They have no interest in taking a manager's position. They don't want to level up. They're not interested. Just pay them their money, make sure that they're comfortable, and let them do what they do. And they want to feel like the most important person in there. And they walk around with joggers, jeans, slides. They put covers on. They wear T-shirts. They're not professional. They're not interested in networking. They don't want to go to no company event. They want to come in, do what they want to do, and they so babied. These guys are like children. Seriously, they're so babied that they have already made their own schedule. I worked with a guy that worked from 11 to 8. 11 to 7, but sometimes he'd be there at 8. I came back one time at like night because I had forgot something. Because I had went up to like a party over there in Ann Arbor or something. I came back, he was still there. I said, man, what the? He don't even get in till 11 o'clock. This nigga is coming in at 11 o'clock. I'll be there. I was there trying to make sure that I'm on top of things so I can make sure I get converted from a contractor over to a main employee. This nigga don't even he don't get in every day till 11 o'clock. He work his own schedule. Don't answer nobody. This nigga got no bosses. He get there when he want to get there. And I was like, but I had to adapt. I had to learn the culture. I had to learn the culture. And once I realized how the game was played, once I seen who was who, I was able to navigate it. But see, everybody else, they'll sit there and complain. Well, what about him? Man, listen. We not here to cause no commotion. I'm trying to figure out how I can get this money, get in where I fit in. I know I'm not going to be here long, but OG over there, we got to make friends with this dude. That's the culture. This is the culture for developers that work at legacy systems, that work at main companies and all of that. Is different than what y'all used to. You can't compare yourself to John. John has been here for 30 years, and he going to be here for another 15 to 20 years after you gone. Layoffs, not them. John gonna still be here. John is still gonna be here. You keep on complaining, yeah, man, we need to do these new apps, these new legacy. The university is not ready for change. The Office of the ITS, Information Technology Services, the Office of the ITS, they're not ready for the migration yet. So I suggest that everything around it migrates over to the cloud and we can go into the application system. But it's not ready yet. Okay? It's not ready yet.
But coding is now accessible to just about anyone with the help of generative AI. On the one hand, this unlocks possibilities for creating a wide range of products and businesses that otherwise might never have seen the light of day. On the other hand, it's made the future less certain for those who write code professionally. Our colleague Ed Ludlow brings us the story of what happens when we lean in and let AI do the work.
In Upper Tract, West Virginia, Jamie Grove owns a boutique warehouse, helping clients ship out anything from dinosaur bones to board games. Last year, he built software that automates shipping out packages with help from AI.
Where's the order that you're looking at there? There's absolutely no way I could have done any of this without AI. For the initial run, to take some spreadsheets that we had that we were working with, to get an actual workable sample ready to go, took me less than a day. And we were live, and we were using it right here in the warehouse.
In Oakland, California, Cynthia Chen wished there was an app that collects pictures of different breeds of dogs.
And then it was when I learned about vibe coding online is when I thought maybe I should try it myself. The first time you see like this little pop-up and it says build succeeded, and then you can see the app pop up and it's actually real. That was like the sort of magical moment where I was like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. I can actually build things myself.
The term vibe coding was coined by Andrej Karpathy, a founding member of OpenAI, to describe a process of computer programming akin to having a conversation with a robot. Here's what it looks like in practice. Say I want to create a website that visualizes and animates a data set. I would use a generative AI tool like Claude or Codex, or in this case, Gemini, and tell it exactly what I want using plain English. AI then writes the code for me. And as coding has gotten easier, it's led to the creation of more code than ever before. Activity on GitHub, the platform used for storing and sharing code, has seen a massive increase in activity, surging in early 2025 when AI coding pilots became popular. And although vibe coding has helped small businesses and hobbyists create their own software, it's the professionals who are leading the way.
So what goes on in this building is we have a mix of folks working on Google Cloud,
At Google, when we talk about autonomy and agentic engineering, we have systems that allow you to kind of have almost a virtual software engineer.
Hold on. If all these brilliant engineers are using AI in this way, what is it that they're doing all day long in beautiful buildings like this one?
Excellent question.
Adi Osmani is the director of Google Cloud AI. He oversees teams of engineers currently building the next generation of AI tools for businesses.
So if you are vibe coding, you're pretty much just giving into the vibes. You don't necessarily have a clear, full idea of your vision. You're just working with the LLM. You're trying to get somewhere with it. If you're engineering, that's where you have to apply rigor to it. You have to have this clear set of requirements. You are testing. And whether you are a startup or whether you're in a big enterprise right now, the role of the software engineer is going to be evolving to one where you are increasingly a little bit more of a manager. You're going to have effectively like a virtual team of agents that you're responsible for, and you have to own the outcomes. Doesn't matter how many
You're
agents you're running.
responsible for the output.
You're responsible for the output, exactly. And so you need to decide, like, how am I evaluating quality? How much time am I going to spend evaluating quality? Because there are some people who very much enjoy YOLO, like, okay, well, the agents ran overnight, looks good, kind of runs, I'm just going to deploy it. But if you're building any kind of serious software, you still need to have some idea of like, what is the quality bar? What are my quality gates? How am I making sure this is actually going to meet the needs of my users in a consistent way?
For the engineers at Google's headquarters here in Sunnyvale, California, Osmani says AI isn't just making their lives easier, it's making them better at coding. The extension of that question, which we pose largely by investors, is how do we measure the productivity gains of that engineer or that team?
I remember in the earlier days of AI, org leaders would look at things like, oh, hey, well, how many lines of code are being generated, right? Which is not in any way a good proxy for productivity. But these days, I think that people use a mix of different kinds of metrics. You try to use qualitative and quantitative. Generally speaking, there's a big productivity boost. In the earlier days of AI,
qualitative and quantitative. Quantitative is a measurable success based off of how productive you are. Qualitative is the quality. Quantitative is how much, okay? Qualitative is the quality of the product that you're putting out there. So you're measuring it qualitative versus quantitative. How productive are we? And are we putting out great products? And how is it developing? Really, all this is telling you is that software engineering is not going anywhere. It's going to become more robust, but you're going to have to diversify what you look for in your skill set. You no longer need to be a code monkey. I like to call them code monkeys because you dial in, you throw on your headphones. Everybody knows. You throw on your headphones and you lock in and you're developing code all day, every day. All day, every day, just overnight, just code. Oh man, you get locked in on a problem. You don't know what to do. You got to go over to the forums. You got to figure it out how to do this. You're asking people around, how do you do this? How do you do this? You're looking for other examples of how people was able to solve a problem. Front end, back end, building in databases in order to store information. All of these different things. And you just used to you just lock in. Sometimes you could be locked in for the next 18 hours. Sometimes you could be locked in for 24 hours straight. Then you sleep, you wake up, you brush your teeth, you do a push-up, and then you lock back in, right? And so that used to be what it is. Now you don't have to do that anymore. Now you're basically pulling out and solving for the things. It's so amazing how this has evolved, right? Because still having a fundamental understanding of how it works allows for you to be a better coder. It allows for you to be a better prompt engineer, right? You're looking for certain things. You can find certain things, and it's easy to then be able to manipulate the AI coding of it so that you're producing better results. So vibe coding is literally just telling it what to do. You're kind of like a project manager mixed with a software engineer so that you can, pull out a better product. And that's basically all it's doing. All right. That's all it's doing. So I don't think that software engineering is going anywhere, but again, you have to evolve and modify who you are based off of where the industry is diving into.
Would have said, that boost is 10 to 15%. These days, it's anywhere from 30 to 50%. And I see that number only continuing to go up.
At MIT, Frank Nagel and a team of researchers surveyed over 187,000 software developers who are using GitHub Copilot, a generative AI tool for coding. And they found that workers are more productive because what they spend time on has changed.
I think one of the big things that we often think about with AI is that it's just going to enhance productivity, right? It's going to make us faster doing whatever it is we do. But that's just really just scratching the surface. You have 100% of your time that you allocate to work. How did that break down along these dimensions of what we called core work, actual coding, versus more project management type of work? And what we've
see, and that's the one thing that I was never able to get with, because I kind of did my own thing once I got into the industry myself too. I was more of an overnight guy, and in the daytime, I just kind of went to meetings and stuff, and so I didn't do anything in the daytime. That was my thing. In the daytime, I worked on anything business related because that's the time that everybody was up. And the nighttime was the time that I actually started to dial in, and that's when I would code or develop whatever product that I needed to develop, or build whatever prototypes or whatever, right? Personas, mapping tools, whatever we needed to do, we did it at night. I did it at night. I like to work at night. So I would lock in at night, and overnight I would do whatever it was that I would do. I would, meet the expectation of deliverable, and I would just sleep in the daytime, and then I would go to meetings in the afternoon. That was kind of my thing. And so once you got your stripes and you proved that you was actually worth your salt, you kind of only cared about the managers at that time where I was working at. They only cared about the deliverables. And so we would go to the meetings in the afternoons. I would sleep in the daytime, and I would code at night. And I would work on whatever business stuff that I wanted to work on in the daytime also. So it's pretty tripped out how things have changed. But I never could work at a place that they were talking about measuring your productivity. I never did that. Because you can't measure me. You don't know my savant-like ability to be able to produce a product. And sometimes I need to sleep on it so that I can come back in the morning and think through what the problems are so we can solve for it. And once the light bulb moment comes in, I'm going to change everybody's life. And that's kind of the way you looked at it. You can't do it based off of productivity. It's no other job that I can think of right off the top of my head where you are kind of like an artist. You're an artist. You're a visionary. And so you coming up with new ideas constantly as an engineer that solves for problems that people don't even know that they have yet. You're an artist. And when you find somebody that really knows what they're doing, you let them work, and then you wait for their deliverable. And when they deliver, they blow your mind, and everybody use it as a prototype. It's pretty crazy how things have changed. No, but I don't think that software engineering is going anywhere. Make sure you guys hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Philip Sadiq says, what up, though? What up, Philip? It is. The Patreon is a great example of that. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. The best time to join the Patreon is the beginning of the month. Jay Thomas says, even after all of the explaining, somebody will say this is Trump's fault. Dirty Woman says, hey, D, did you already cover former Mayor Rudy Giuliani being in the hospital? I saw it on Facebook, so it might be late news. No, I didn't know he was in the hospital. I'll look at it in a second. I'm going to save that. Joe Budden and you, the only ones I know successful on Patreon with his 150K following, and you're 22,000. Oh, I'm at 23 now. Let's be clear. Let me make sure I got that right. Patreon. $23,722.
Anton, how are you?
What's up, Mark? Yeah, after I get done live streaming, I'm gonna come up there and I'm gonna drop it off. What time y'all close?
We close at 7 o'clock tonight.
Oh no, I'm gonna be there before then because my flight ain't till 7:40 tonight. Okay. So I'm gonna get there. I want to be there before 5. I'm going to try to get there before 5 to drop the car off.
Cool. That sounds great.
All right, cool.
Thanks, man.
All right, bye.
See ya.
22,722. Yep, 22. I'm sorry, 23,000. 23,722. That's where we at. So I don't know what everybody else is doing. We doing what we do over here, though. We continue to do what we do over here. All right. Casual Germ says a Star Trek is better than Star Wars looking, eh? Bundu Air says, hey, D, I love your clip critiques. Please check out Elon's clip repost of Rachel Wilson's interview on Jack Neal's podcast titled Feminism is Satanic. Email it to me so I don't forget it. At the end of the day, the end user doesn't care who or what built the app. All the end user cares about is, does it do what I want and need it to do? That's for sure. And if you can make it pretty, that'd be awesome also. Cursor is a good product for coding. Shout out to my dog, Jay Hunter Lee. Dirty Woman says, 80, do you think that AI personal assistant companies like Marbleism are worth the investment from a small business single owner perspective and help me streamline processes? I don't. I think that the AI itself is your assistant, and people are taking it and making it into something else and repackaging a product to specifically market it to you. I think that the AI itself is the assistant. Gemini, Claude, I'll leverage that. I don't think that you need to go with any outside system at all. Once you pay for the product one time, you should be able to leverage it as an assistant. Shout out to my dog, Courtney Egger Show. What up, though? Rudy Giuliani, huh? Let's see. Hospitalized and in critical condition?
And more. Breaking news. Former New York City Mayor Rudy Giuliani is hospitalized tonight in critical but stable condition. This is according to his spokesman.
Tonight, well wishes from President Trump and former Mayor Eric Adams. The spokesman released no details about what led to the 81-year-old's emergency.
He is a former federal prosecutor who fought the mob.
And a former mayor who fought for the city on 9/11.
Now, according to his spokesperson, Rudy Giuliani is fighting for his life in a hospital in Florida. In a statement, Ted Goodman wrote, Mayor Rudy Giuliani is currently in the hospital where he remains in critical but stable condition. We do ask that you join us in prayer for America's mayor.
There are still a number of questions tonight. We don't know exactly why the 81-year-old former mayor was hospitalized. We don't know when he was admitted or the specific hospital where he is being treated.
What we do know is there has been an outpouring of support for the man who led the city from January of 1994 until December of 2001. A spokesperson for former Mayor Eric Adams wrote, we may not always agree politically, but this moment rises above politics. On behalf of Eric Adams, we are wishing strength, good health, and a full recovery to Rudy Giuliani, a man who devoted his life to public service.
Giuliani later became the personal attorney for Donald Trump and was part of the legal team that helped the president advance those claims that he won the 2020 election.
Now, you might remember last summer, Mr. Giuliani fractured a vertebrae following a car crash in New Hampshire. Shortly after that crash, he appeared at the 9/11 memorial service in a wheelchair and wearing a chest brace. Well,
a lot of these older people, they're aging out, bro. I mean, he's 80 years old. He's literally 80 years old. A lot of people actually credit Rudy Giuliani with fixing New York. A lot of them credited him with shepherding New York through a time where it was gritty, graffiti laden, gangs, culture, all of that type of stuff. And a lot of people credit Rudy Giuliani with actually saving New York, fixing New York, making Manhattan popular again, doing all of those type of things, getting the gangs up out of there and stuff like that. Obviously, he was the face of what was going on during the whole 9/11 thing and stuff like that. So, yep, they say that he took down the mob, that Rico'd the mob. So I don't think that Rudy Giuliani get the credit that he deserves, especially in his older age. I don't think that he gets the credit that he deserved. He actually cleaned up New York. He was one of the best mayors that New York ever had. He was. A lot of people hated, what was it called? Stop and frisk. What is Rudy's diabolical past that you don't like? What is Giuliani's past that y'all don't like? What is it? Of course, it was going to be some people that said something about his diabolical past. I think that he did a phenomenal job shepherding New York into the technological era. And I'm not sure if New York has been the same since he left. I don't think it's been the same since he left. New York has never recovered from Giuliani stepping down and not being mayor. And they got mad at stop and frisk of what was going on in New York, but they got a lot of guns off the streets. They got a lot of gang members off the streets. They got a lot of mobsters off the streets. And since Giuliani hasn't been mayor, New York is completely went over the hill. Hasn't been able to maintain anything that he's done since. And now y'all falling into socialism. The very thing that Giuliani worked to get rid of, they're working to undo. And that's the circle of life. The circle of life is, are people able to maintain the very thing that you gave your life for? And if not, was it worth it? Really, honestly. Like, I know that we talking about Giuliani like he's already passed away, but he's in critical condition. And I don't wish death on anybody. But think about that, right? The very things that made us or made your environment or made your culture or made your city what it is, they'll forget about you and they'll ruin it overnight only to look for a savior. Our nature as human beings are to destroy and then look to fix the very thing that we're going to destroy it so we can fix it ourselves. That's crazy. It's insane. We create problems for ourselves so that we can fix it. And it's historical. Everything historical that has been built ultimately falls into disrepair so that we can have a comeback story. So that we can have a comeback story. Every single city, every city. That's why I know that Chicago was going to be falling, because I could see all of the blueprint. It's not just the functionality of the city. It's not just the politicians. It's not just the finances. It's everything. It has the makings of a city that needs to fall so that it can rise again. Some cities never come back. The major cities usually do. That's how it happens. New York is set up for a fall right now, because the very thing that we cleaned it up from is the thing that it's going to go back to. So it can be cyclical. We need new heroes. So you need new people. You need new villains and you need new heroes. You need new villains and you need new heroes. Nothing stays at the top for the entire time unless you go through something to ultimately build it back up. It's just like an NBA franchise. Cities are like NBA franchises, and that is why you are going to continuously have the cycle. Do you know why We never have a long run of any Democrat or any Republican for an extended period of time before one of them ultimately takes the mantle and they set in place the thing that destroys the country or put the country in turmoil or something like that, only for somebody else to come back to fix the thing that they do, but they don't stay there long enough to actually get the accolades as a result of it. And so the next person benefit from it while they tear the country down. And then you have this cycle, this cyclical thing of Republicans and Democrats going into Congress, going into the presidency, going into the House of Representatives, going into the mayoralship, going into all of that. Because we have short memories. And so the very thing that got us to the point to where we then got comfortable so that we can lean more into our liberal ways is the thing that we'll have to have a tough time fighting against to get things back to the American core, the things that we used to be. How do we ever get this at this point in the first place? It happens every time. In order for Chicago to get somebody that can fix the city, they first got to suffer. We did it for years. We gave the city to Detroit over to identity politics when Mayor Coleman Young came into the office, and it's been downhill ever since until eventually we had to file for bankruptcy, and then we reset ourselves. Now we going back woke again. I'm telling you the truth, bro. I'm telling you the truth. It's a microcosm of life. It's suffering. Suffering and appreciation, redemption, suffer, appreciation, redemption. It's a microcosm of life. Think about relationships. Think about relationships, right? You know that women are whatever they are, right? So we're going to be at the top of our game and hustle so that we can get into a relationship with a woman that's going to humble us so that we can get back on our game and say, you know what, I forgot who I was, and it's time to get back to it. It's time to hustle and get back to my life. We didn't know that was what was going to happen in the first place, so that we can get back with some more women that can make us uncomfortable so that we can get back on top of our game because we forgot who we was again. It's a circle of life. It keeps us humble. It keeps us on our grind. It gives us purpose. Because if we achieved everything in one setting, then there would be no purpose of life. It's the way that it is. Civil rights movement. People died for black people to have all of the rights that they have today, only for them to not go to the polls and not appreciate everything that they died for. Fought to vote. We got a less than a 20% turnout rate at the polls. There's people today that know nothing about the civil rights movement, except for what they've seen on the Martin Luther King I Have a Dream speech, that will sit there and tell you that voting doesn't matter. People died, killed, hung, firebombed, all of that stuff, and you won't show up, and people will sit there and take it for granted unless the Supreme Court say, hey, listen, you can't redraw districting lines based off of race alone. And it's, oh my God, they're taking all of our rights. And they will argue with me. Man, voting don't matter. Well, wait a minute. Then what was they dying for over there? Man, whatever's going to happen is going to happen anyway. Okay. Okay, cool. And it's nothing you could do. It's nothing you could do. It is nothing you could do about it, bro. Sometimes people have a redemption story. Sometimes people just go ahead and die on a sword. It just is what it is. There's nothing you can do about it, bro. What's the moral of the story? Stop trying to do stuff to please everybody else or thinking that your legacy is going to be intact because you did something great. Do what you can, enjoy life, and know that somebody is going to come back to destroy the very thing that you built. So don't put too much time in thinking that it's going to stand up once you go. You're going to build a legacy, and then you're going to teach your kid the legacy, and you're going to hope that it holds true. But then somewhere down the line, you're going to get in your lineage, it may even be after you did, you're going to get one of your relatives or one of the people that come after you and your gene pool is going to have some sassy, they're going to be a single mother. It's going to have a sassy kid, and that sassy kid is going to be a dope fiend, and they're going to sell everything in the company that you built. And they're going to kill everything and destroy everything that everybody and every ancestor did. Do what you can, live a great life, leave an inheritance for your kid, and enjoy it. But if you're thinking that it's going to stand up 100 years after you're gone, all it takes is one super sassy, liberal, rebellious one to destroy everything you spent your whole life building, bro. You know what I'm saying, dirty woman? Fix all of New York, and then they're going to elect Mom Donnie, and he's going to get and do the same thing and put y'all in that situation in the first place. Just got to take it. Just enjoy life. It's not that big of a deal. Enjoy life. Get some box today. Get some box. Don't trip about it. Don't waste no time. Get some box. Relax. Chill out. Have a good time. Do the best that you can do. Live the life that you think you can live, and leave it on the flow. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you guys hit a like for the algorithm. Subscribe to the channel. Somebody said that's my biggest fear. What? Somebody destroying something after you gone? You're not going to be here to see it anyway. What difference will it make? What difference will it make? You're not going to be here. Why do you care? We got time for at least one more, I think. Trust funds with restrictions. For what? Let them crash out. We need some ghetto stuff. Let me see something. We ain't did no hood subjects today. Oklahoma mass shooting. Since 12 to the hospital. Naked man terrorizes the Rosetta neighborhood. Killer laughs as the judge hands down a life sentence. Yeah, we'll get there in a second.
Prosecutors have charged a 16-year-old with murder in adult court more than a year after police say he shot a man.
That's right. That victim died several months after the shooting. Tonight, Fox 59's Max Lewis tells us court records revealed this wasn't the first time the suspect pulled the trigger.
It was in April of last year that police were called out to this stretch of Temple Avenue and found 24-year-old Wilson Astride shot, laying in the middle of the street. Cops were able to track the shooting back to a 15-year-old member of a gang known as Project Baby Thuggin'. But
if I have a son and he winds up joining a game named Project Baby Thuggin', PBT, I have I have failed as a human being. I didn't just fail as a father, I failed as a human being, bro. Do y'all ever sit and think like, hey, so wait a minute, hold on. Before I join this gang, can I meet the co-founder? So I want to just know where the name came from. I would like to meet the co-founder. Y'all need to start vetting the gangs that y'all join based off of the context clues and say, hey, man, hold on, wait a minute. What's the name of the gang? Can I meet the co-founder? Who's in charge? You? Because I think that if y'all see some of the people that's in charge, maybe you will be less inclined to join the gang. You know what I'm saying? Like, I look at everything. I look at everything, bro. I look at everything. Everything informs me on whether this is a good idea or a bad idea. Today, back then, it's the same thing. Y'all ain't never met a girl, went over her house and looked around and said, yeah, like, and just got uncomfortable. You know what I'm saying? It don't matter what she look like. It don't matter how bad she is. It don't matter what it's like. Nah. Mm-mm. No, I can't do it. I'm sorry. I can't do it. I can't do it. Like I could, certain things is just like, I don't know if this is smart. Like I have to pay attention to things. I have to see how certain things play out. I want to know, what's happening. Come on, AD, let's leave with something positive. I've been talking about positive stuff all day. Coders, money, investments, airlines, all of that stuff. Project Baby Stuggin. Got it. Sound like models of the community and people that absolutely want the best for our lives.
A 15-year-old member of a gang known as Project Baby Stuggin, but not.
Why when white people say it, it sounds much funnier than if a black person was to say it? Because if I say, nah, man, listen, bro, they was a part of Project Baby Stuggin, bro. PBD, they was over there, man. They going crashing out. They going crazy over there. Stay from out of that. When white people say it, and they were a part of a gang called Project Baby Stuggin, it just sound funnier.
Before he allegedly went out and shot somebody else. That second shooting happened here at the Phillips 66 at 25th and Sherman about a week after the Temple Avenue shooting. Detectives say Richard Williams, who was 15 at the time, was captured on surveillance cameras, pulling out 2 guns.
Wow. Look like they fit the description. Guns, extra clip. Dreads, Jordans, jeans, red or blue on. I couldn't have figured it out. No way would I have been able to figure it out that Project Baby Thuggin had the YN kit on with the extended clip. With the extendo.
And firing at a sedan parked.
Is that a Nissan? And he firing in the middle of the daytime. The middle of the daytime, and it's everybody else around, bro. This is wild.
At one of the pumps. Witnesses gave cops a description, and they found him shortly after just.
What you want me to say? What you want me to do? Look, man, look. Check it out. Check it out. What do you want me to do? How you want to play this? If I turn on the police scanner right now and I heard of a shooting, I could pretty much tell you what the description is. I can tell you what the description is, bro. This is the kid. They all look the same now. They all look the same. There is no difference. There is no difference of a look. They not pretty boys. They don't wear Gucci loafers. They not good readers.
Just up the road and took him into custody wearing a camouflage head wrap. That's important because it's the same camouflage head wrap as the suspected shooter in the Temple Avenue case.
On ring cam.
After Williams' arrest in the gas station shooting, police began to connect the dots. Detectives found surveillance video of Williams and his accomplice walking near the home on Temple shortly before the shooting, as well as a photo posted online of Williams with a gun tucked below his arm. but it was messages exchanged online that sealed the case. Court records revealing Williams asked a friend to lure the victim to Temple Avenue. Once there, police say Williams shot him and then stole his car, later dumping it in a nearby driveway.
In August, 4 months later of 2025, almost to the day, that victim passes away, unfortunately, due to injuries sustained in that shooting.
Despite the time difference, the coroner ruled his death a homicide. Williams's case was elevated to murder and was finally waived to adult court this week.
Why does a 15-year-old have a firearm and think it's just to go shoot a person because they want something from that person and monetary gain? That's the disappointing part.
IMPD spokesperson Tommy Thompson says the diligent work of their detectives and the arrest of this gang member should serve as a warning to others thinking of doing something similar.
If you commit these crimes in our community, it does not matter how old you are. We will find you and we will hold you accountable for your actions. We will not tolerate this recklessness, this reckless behavior within our community.
Williams is being held in the Marion County Jail. He's set to be arraigned on those charges tomorrow morning.
They call him Hellhead. That's what they said his name is, Hellhead. That's his nickname. His nickname is Hellhead. So here's the other part that I want to, what will be my gang nickname? Gang gang. I be outside with my gangbang. My gang member name, that's what we need to do. We need to have Patreon gang member names, tag names. My name is going to be, y'all be having some funny questions, bro. We so crazy. I'm not, no, Pookie Loc is garbage. You need to go with something a little bit more astute. As baby girl. Hey, baby girl. So I got this question, right? So instead of using the name Anton Daniels, I want a nickname, but I want like a gang member type of nickname. You got any ideas?
That's an interesting idea. To help come up with a good nickname, could you tell me a little more about what you mean by gang member type? Are you looking for something tough or maybe related to a specific skill you have?
Yeah, tough. But like the money guy, I'm thinking more like mob type figure. I'm not really into gangs, but I'm thinking more like a mob boss type name. A leader type of mob boss name. What would you recommend?
Given you're looking for that leader, money-focused vibe, maybe something like the Don or Kingpin, or keeping it simple with the Boss or even Ace could work. A classic mobster name related to money could be something like Meyer, after Meyer Lansky, who was known for being brilliant with finances. Do any of those sound more like what you're picturing?
I like that. I like that. So either I'm going to go with Anton Lansky or Meyer Daniels. Kind of like Mayor Daniels, but like Meyer Daniels at the same time. I like that. Meyer Daniels.
Those both sound pretty powerful. Anton Lansky has that classic mob feel, and Meyer Daniels also balances that tough leader image with a clever mind. Which one do you think fits you best?
I like them both. I think I'll take both of them.
Well, you've got two strong options there. You could always use one as your main nickname and keep the other as a backup, or maybe use them in different contexts. Which one are you leaning towards for right now?
I like Anton Lansky, but that's when I get a little bit, that's when I'm feeling like, oh man, y'all kind of made me mad. But then Meyer Daniels, that's like, oh, word, that's Meyer Daniels walking down the street. It gives a little bit more of an allure.
Yeah, I get that. Like, Anton Lansky is definitely a name for when you're about to bring the hammer down. And Meyer Daniels does have more of that intriguing boss level mystique. It seems like Yeah, seems like you've thought those through pretty well.
Well, listen, that's why you my baby girl. You always there for me. You always making sure you give me these good ideas.
I'm glad I could help you brainstorm. It sounds like you've got two solid names to work with.
Thank you, baby girl.
You're very welcome. Let me know if anything else comes up.
I think I'll be Meyer Daniels. She did. She said, when you about to put the hammer down. That's what she said. That's right. That's right. I like that. Meyer Daniels, Anton Lansky, something like that. We'll figure it out. We'll put it together. Oh, yeah. I like that. I know Anton AI assistant thinks I'm a whole fool. That's my master. Y'all asked it. Wait. So how y'all gonna ask me the question, and then when we get down to it and we figure out what our gang name is, now y'all want to sit here and acting like, oh, y'all above it. No, y'all gonna figure out y'all gang name too. We gang. Oh man, that is so hilarious. Ugh. You know what the bad part about this show is that I have to end it because I gotta go and take this car in so that it can get tinted and it can get the wheels done and all of that. You know what the good thing about the show is that we still got to get it and do it tomorrow too. Yep, that's true. So, I don't know what time I'm gonna stream tomorrow. I'm gonna let y'all know ahead of time. I don't know what time I'm gonna stream tomorrow because I don't know what time I'm gonna get settled inside of my hotel room. But I'm gonna figure it out. I love y'all. I genuinely love y'all. If y'all not a part of the Bag Chasers, then you won't be getting these upcoming 3 posts that I'm about to drop, along with all of the other legacy stuff that we got popping off. That used to be one of my rap nicknames, Time to Don. Time to Don. I don't even remember any of my old raps. I can only remember like some of the stuff that I used to write. Time is really dope myself. Like I sat in the pipe, lit it, and I smoked myself. Had to battle my alter ego and I choked myself. So when I'm sitting amongst people, man, I boast myself, show myself more suave than you is. So when I ride, I lay back sideways like Fabulous Tooth is. Truth is, I do what them hustlers do. It's 24/7 on the block like new kids. Get it? New rhymes on the block. Take the minds that you. I don't remember all of that stuff. Hey, those was back in the days. That was time. It was a time for that. You know what I'm saying? We was getting to it. That was a long time, decades ago. We had a lot of different names, a lot of nicknames. You know what I'm saying? Long time ago. But I don't remember any of the other ones. How you know about Ill Rhyme Society? What you know about that? My dog sent me one of the songs that I used to be on back then. He still got all of that stuff on DATs. He got it on his hard drives. He got a bunch of stuff, bro. It's crazy.
All y'all can destroy now. The industry lyrically ain't advanced enough to be feeling me.
He's supposed to send me all of that, but that was a long time ago. That was a long time ago. Anyways, those were the days. Those were the days. Shout out to my girl, Dirty Woman. I love you. I appreciate you. Mama C Sanctuary. Mama C Sanctuary. Is that how I pronounce it? What up, AD? What's been good in the hood? Chilling. That was back in like 2000, 99, 98, 99. Jared says Pocahontas just sold 20K shares for Spirit Air. What does that mean? Casual Germ says the 2026 version of Baby Kids, Lil TJ is a co-founder. Chris Cunningham says AD, he's a good kid. He's a good kid. He's good at sports. Baby girl gonna send that to the feds. They can come if they want to. I ain't got nothing for them. I got a tax bill for them if they want it. You know what I'm saying? Mr. Midwest says he will be hell of a head giver. Oh my God. What kind of oh my gosh. Dirty Woman says Traveler Mercies AD praying Psalms 91 over you and your family. That's what I love. I love y'all. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Y'all are the greatest ever. So listen, next time y'all see me on a live stream, we will be in Brazil. This is Brazil. You know what I'm saying? We back at it. Got some more work to do before we get up out of here. And we good. And we gone in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.